So we all know how San Diego is known for its booming tourism business with its beautiful beaches and weather. However, an industry in San Diego that is overlooked but arguably more influential in my opinion is biotechnology. So, according to Voice of San Diego, which is a local nonprofit organization here in San Diego is home to the third largest concentration of biotechnology companies in the world, behind Boston and San Francisco. Who knew? So, industry insiders say that this is a result of two major forces. The first being the cluster of world class research institutes here in San Diego, and secondly, the success of Hybrid Tech, a local company that fostered a generation of gutsy entrepreneurs to start their biotechnology businesses. So, the story of how San Diego's biotechnology industry began is when multiple research institutes, such as the University of California, San Diego, the Salk Institute for Biological Studies down in La Jolla, as well as the Scripps Research Institute, were founded for research and education in biomedical sciences in the mid 1950s to 60s. So in 1965, many civic and business leaders recognized the newly formed academic foundation of biological sciences here in San Diego and decided to designate the Torrey Pines Mesa area for research development in the field of biotechnology. So, as expected, multitudes of interested researchers and students began flooding San Diego at the sight of newly emerging opportunities. However, I believe the true beginning of the economic ascension of the biotechnology industry didn't truly begin until 1978, when a small UCSD laboratory became the birthplace of a multi-million-dollar venture. So, a man by the name of Ivor Royston was a young assistant professor studying immunology at UCSD and drove four investors to the airport after giving them a tour of his lab. So during this drive, he told them how he believed his research into monoclonal antibodies could be the future of disease diagnosis, and that he and his assistant Howard Burndoff wanted to start making these antibodies commercially for things such as hepatitis testing. So the San Francisco venture capitalist that he was driving decided to give them $300,000, and his company, Hybrid Tech, along with San Diego's multi-billion-dollar biotechnology industry, was born. So after Royston's success, Torrey Pines Mesa began to be infused with a surge of complementary firms such as public relations firms, patent attorneys, and they were anxious to support these entrepreneurial startups on the road to new medical breakthroughs. So, over the next several years after its investment, Hybrid Tech went public and commercialized a series of diagnostic kits for anemia and other kits for different types of cancer and allergies. So by 1985, it had developed its legacy product, which was the first antibody test for prostate cancer. So in 1986, it, it was market approved, and the test earned the reputation for being the most accurate way to monitor the disease. So it is known as the PSA test, and it measures the blood of a prostate-specific antigen, which is a protein that rises with the level of the disease. So that same year, pharmaceutical giant Eli Kelly paid $400 million to acquire Hybrid Tech, which created a league of San Diego biotechnology millionaires. The startup company's success fueled an explosion of venture capitalists funding companies in San Diego. Coincidentally, at around the same time, the Cold War was winding down and defense spending had been drastically slashed, and aerospace companies were closing down their San Diego operations. So, um, in effect of this, the local economy essentially collapsed, and the unemployment rate in San Diego spiraled down to nearly 10%. Due to this, the city's rigid regulations regarding the construction, permits, and zoning were relaxed in order to accommodate the growing biotechnology business. As a result, multiple other research facilities were built around UCSD, the Salk Institute, and Scripps, and many other new employment opportunities began to reappear in San Diego. So, in today's age, the biotechnology industry has been flourishing more than ever due to the recent demand for an emergency vaccine in response to the highly pathogenic coronavirus disease, which is otherwise known as COVID-19. So, two San Diego-based biotechnology companies, Arcturus Therapeutics and Inovio Pharmaceutical, have begun testing for possible COVID-19 vaccines that could save millions of lives. So, Inovio Pharmaceutical received a genetic sequence of COVID-19 from China on January 10th, and within 3 hours had a vaccine design. So the company was immediately began to start manufacturing and testing the vaccine, and will start beginning human clinical trials in early April. Arcturus Therapeutics is making headlines for its research towards developing an easy, manufacturable, logistic-friendly single-shot vaccine. Singapore reached out to Arcturus in early 2020 and is already preparing for clinical trials there, which would be regulated and approved by Singapore's Health Sciences Authority. So, in addition to these companies making strides in the development of vaccinations, UC San Diego engineers have also been using 3D printers to manufacture parts for ventilators and respiratory equipment to help with the demand for COVID-19 patients in hospitals around the US. So, San Diego's thriving biotechnology industry has not only been helping fuel San Diego's economy and workforce during this rough time, but has also produced significant scientific progressions in developing vaccinations and finding solutions to help aid the lack of resources in hospitals. I think it is important that we recognize the significance of biotechnology in San Diego as much as we recognize other industries. Thank you.